This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zappos, the home for the Cougar Coaches Show, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Now, live from Zappos, alongside Cougar head coach Jake Dickert, here's the voice of the Cougs, Matt Chazanow.
It is great to be with you.
Right.
Packed house. What a crowd. It's great to be here, Coach. We got ourselves another packed home game.
Yes.
After a big win, actually the biggest win ever in Coug history over Stanford, a 52-14 final.
Wow.
52.
Feels good. Really felt good.
Yeah, I bet. You've been playing football. Cougars have been playing football against Stanford for, I believe it's 86 years.
Okay.
That's the biggest win.
Wow.
That's the first 50-point outburst against Stanford ever.
It was just one of those things when you're talking offense, you're talking defense, you're talking special teams. I mean, to the term things were clicking, I mean, that's what it looks like. But there was an energy to it. Our guys were prepared. They were excited to be out there. And, you know, we continue to want to go through the season. I think our team continues to get better. And to see it in every phase was just – that was the performance that we all know was there, and to go out there and do it, it was really special.
You actually have now coached the largest wins over both the Huskies and Cardinal in Cougar football history.
Wow, I appreciate that, Matt. I appreciate that. It's the guys. I mean, they went out there and did it, and, you know, to start off, get the ball, touchdown, 3-and-out touchdown, get the ball back to them, touchdown, 4 takeaways in the first half. I mean, it just had that feel of our guys just having fun, playing, enjoying themselves, and then to get to that point when you do put a score like that, to get these young guys in the game, get them game experience. You know, the world was introduced to John Mateer and had a pretty good opening start, and we're excited about some of these guys' future too.
No doubt. Orion Peters caught his first touchdown.
Yeah.
And, it felt a lot like, now this is last year and not this year, but there were a lot of early turnovers forced in Tempe last year. We'll talk about the Sun Devils in a bit, but I've got a box score here on my phone. I'm not texting during the show.
Okay.
I got a box score here. It says 306 total rush yards. A 300 rush yard game against the Stanford Cardinal.
And I'll tell you what, it was the best our offensive line has played all year. When you watch the tape, they were straining, they were physical, absolutely. And they kept Cam upright. And there's one thing to run the ball. It's about staying committed to running the ball. And how about Nakia Watson? You know, Nakia comes back. The spirits were lifted. They were just beyond excited to have him. And like I said, the best medicine is want to. And ever since he's gotten injured, he's wanted to get back out there. I mean, he's pushed, but you know, you see the difference with an experienced back, and you know, it was just fun to get everyone in on the mix as we kept going throughout that game.
166 total rush yards, 1 touchdown, had a career-long 65-yarder early. A tone setter.
It was. I mean, like I said, that second play to break a big one like that, I just think it set the tone for the whole day. And what I'm really proud of, and what do we look at as far as our finish factors? Do we outrush our opponent in the fourth quarter? Okay, and we had over 100 yards by a lot of our backups in the fourth quarter when they knew they were running. There's a toughness mindset, and I tell the guys every day, toughness is a choice. And I thought you saw it on the film Saturday.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of Juvensky, Schlenbaker. We didn't see Jalen Jenkins, but, you know, we saw Payne, we saw Schlenbaker, we saw Watson, and then Mateer ran the ball really well as well. Yeah. Cameron Ward kind of did his thing. You know,
he did. Leighton Smithson, first touchdown.
Yeah, Leighton Smithson. Yeah, you know, technically, I think it was a rush in the box score. I was confused because it was a back. It was
a lateral.
It was backwards. Yeah, I said, "Hey, wait a minute. That looked like a passing touchdown."
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Felt like it. Yeah,
it did. But like I said, it was good to get some offensive mojo, and confidence is a word we've been talking about a little bit. And to see it out there, and I know they've been working, and we haven't gotten the results sometime that we wanted throughout the season, but to see it in this game, I just think it's something that can catapult us and something to build on.
I don't want to lose sight of that offensive line, Jarrett Kingston. He'd been great this year. He went down with an injury, left tackle. It was a unit at times that felt like it had its moments, pluses and minuses through the year. But Kingston all year had been a solid part, a positive part of that. It's a terrible loss to lose him for the year.
Well, I think it's one of those things where, you know, we brought in Lely, and he just kind of gave us a spark, and to use Make in different ways to keep guys fresh. And Jarrett's been that one guy that's just been so consistent. And we asked him to leave his comfort zone from guard and use his athleticism and go play tackle. And I firmly believe he is an all-conference performer. Now, he won't be able to finish these last 3 games, but that's the type of level he's been playing at. And that's the type of level that we expect from a guy that's that veteran. And it will be a big blow. But I think at the end of the day, next man up, our guys will be ready. And we've kind of been shuffling that lineup to make sure we're ready to attack these last few weeks.
Yeah, I don't know how much credence to put into it. And sometimes analytics are not necessarily misleading. I mean, they can be. But it said basically that there was one nugget that said Kingston had not allowed any sacks, right?
Yeah.
Which, sometimes it's hard to parse out who allowed the sack is my point. But he did great. He was great all year.
Oh, he's been that anchor. And anytime you get a left tackle, and you'll have Cam up here later, I mean, you get the quarterback, and you just on that blind side to feel comfortable. And like I said, it was a change in the position. It wasn't always easy. It's a different world at left tackle than it is left guard. And anyone can tell you that's ever played the game and played the old line. So him to come in and do it, and to do it at this type of level, his pulling, his aggressiveness, his finish, so I can't say enough great things about Jarrett, and obviously he'll be missed, and we got to keep moving.
Well, the run game, fabulous.
Yep.
The defense with the fumbles, forcing all those turnovers, 4 first-half turnovers. I mean, that's you could be up really big, and you were.
Well, and I just think it's one of those things we got what we emphasize. We've talked about it even more about script at the ball. We saw some opportunities that we could take advantage of the Stanford, ball carriers, and that's what our guys did. And it was a constant energy. And then to score on defense. It was one of those things where such an energy, it just keeps breathing. And our guys having fun with it. And on that play, Hicks gets the touchdown.
Right.
The amazing part was Brennan Jackson tackled the Stanford guy that almost got the ball, threw him down, took his towel, threw it out of bounds.
Threw his towel.
I mean, he was so fired up. But those are the little things that people don't see on the broadcast that when you look back, the effort of everyone around him playing, it was just a phenomenal effort by our team.
There's no stat for that. That's a great example. I mean, there's no stat. There's no credit given. It's behind the play.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the Seahawks. I think it was Tyler Lockett that came out last week, and it was a buzzworthy thing. But when you don't care who gets the credit, it's amazing what you can accomplish as a group. And that's, I think, part of coaching and leadership is taking 18 to 23-year-olds from all over the country, really all over the globe, right, America, Samoa, and bringing them together. And when they understand why they're doing it and they do it for each other, I just think those are the special, connecting the team things that we keep talking about.
How hard is that for you nowadays? How hard is it to connect the guys, and can you tell when stuff resonates? Can you tell if something's working?
I do, because I check the pulse, and and I have the captains, we have a leadership council, and hey, does this, what do you guys like, this and that, and I just think today's generation needs to see it. They need to feel it. They need to taste it, right? It isn't just, our generation, hey, coach told me to do it, I'm going to go do it. They need to know why and show them why and show them the standard of how it's done. I think more importantly, don't just say, hey, let's go play with great effort. Show them on tape. This is us doing it. This is us not. And I think they really respond to that because, they want to make sure they're doing it right for their teammates. So I think there's a level of leadership that our guys and that connecting that's really special.
Sounds like it's kind of evolved in some way in that they're not just taking orders, right? It's not just yes, sir, and move on. There's a discussion to be had.
No doubt. I think they got to know that we're in partnership with them, right? And this term, like no one likes wheelbarrow players, right, where you always have to push them around, right? You know what I mean? You got guys that want to love what they do, and I think that's a fun deal. There's my brother just coming in.
Hey, there you go.
So
Coach Dickert's brother.
Yeah, it's family weekend.
Yeah, I love
it's family
that.
weekend.
I love it.
And not to mention, it's Jace's birthday.
Hey, happy birthday to Jace.
6-year-old Jace.
Happy 6 years old. How about that?
And that's a whole other story because
it
was a Thursday before one of our biggest rivals in South Dakota State, South Dakota.
Okay.
And, I'm in there. I'm doing film work in the hospital room, right? We have Jace and, Candace knows that we got a game on Saturday, right? So
hang on now. What day of the week is it?
It was Thursday.
So it's Thursday.
And we planned
you got
her.
a game
We planned her inducement so we could do it on Thursday after the week's prep was in.
Did you really?
We did, yes. And the Brookings Hospital was very on board with that. That's how you know your wife is all in.
And how you know the hospital's all in on the football team also.
And then also, so that was the South Dakota State Jack Rabbits.
Yes.
Okay, so they call themselves the Jacks. So Jace's middle name is Jace Jack Dickert.
How about
right?
that?
Just a little homage
That's
to.
That's a cool story.
So it's a funny deal. But yeah, we're excited about tonight. Going to do a little bowling and pizza.
That's awesome. Well, happy birthday to Jace.
Yeah.
Huge happy birthday. I don't want to talk about the Jackrabbits on the hardwood from last year, though.
No,
no doubt. That was a tough game
team.
in Spokane. Really good.
A good team. Yes.
Really, really good team. Anyway, happy birthday to Jace, and glad your brother's here. That's
awesome.
super fun. Also, before we take a break, we're going to have Cameron Ward on, right? Quarterback. We're going to get questions. We're all loaded up with questions. Maybe we get some write-ins as well. Tomorrow's a special day, bigger than football in the country.
Absolutely. It's Veterans Day, and I just think in every branch of military, we really salute you and all the veterans out there. So hopefully we just get a round of applause for all veterans tomorrow. I think it's important. My nephew actually just joined the Air Force, so
right?
He's down in his training down there. So
Is that right?
He earned 4 minutes of a phone call the other day.
There you go.
I know we're proud of him and just really appreciative of everyone in our armed forces.
100%. Couldn't echo it more. Thank you for your service. We're going to take a break. Come back. We're live here talking ball at Zeppo's with Coach Dickert. We'll get set. We'll talk Arizona State next.
Time to redo this basement?
Yeah. A home gym, movie theater, model train utopia.
Or yoga studio?
I'm flexible-ish.
Great. I'll just use the U.S. Bank mobile app so we can plan it out.
Which way are you leaning? Setting a savings goal or applying for a home improvement loan?
I say we look at both options, right here in the app.
Budget for a really good home gym. We deserve it.
Noted.
Help for today, planning for tomorrow. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender member FDIC.
Saturdays are made for football. And when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Carbon monoxide detectors save lives because if kerosene, propane, natural gas, or wood isn't burned properly, dangerous carbon monoxide may result, and it can build up indoors without you knowing, as it's invisible and odorless. So protect yourself by installing UHL-approved carbon monoxide detectors. If carbon monoxide is present, the detector will alert everyone to get out of the house, where you can safely call 911 for help. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
Back at it live here talking ball with Coach Dickert. We got a packed house here at Zeppo's. We've got ourselves another big pack home game against the Arizona State Sun Devils. 3-6 record, 2-4 in the pack. It's been an odd year for ASU. Yeah. Their head coach has been dismissed. Last year, both their coordinators resigned. They've got all kinds of NCAA allegations potentially pending. Their program's in a bit of flux. But they've played pretty good ball over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. They beat Washington 45-38. Yeah. They beat Colorado 42-34. It was a close game. They scored a bunch of points. They almost beat Stanford, right? They lost by 1 point. And they kind of hung in there with UCLA, with a really good UCLA team. It was 50-36, just this track meet. But their current coach is interim Sean Aguano, who has an interesting background in himself. We'll get into the whole thing. But what do you make of the Sun Devils?
Well, I think the biggest thing, you go against Arizona State, just like I thought last year. They're one of the most talented, pure talented teams in our league. And, there's been a lot of shakeup. There's been a lot of talk about it. There's still a lot of really talented players there. And they're playing really hard for their coach. And I think it's been – a story of a couple seasons, but they made a quarterback change. I think they simplified the offense. He took over the play calling duties, and they really exploded a little bit as far as the offensive side of the ball. They really want to run it first and pass second, but they showed against UCLA. They're down 42-18 and stormed back throwing the football and got within one score really late against, obviously UCLA is proven to be a really good opponent. So, I think they're playing extremely hard. That's the first thing I look for. They are not giving up on the season. They know they need to kind of win out to be bowl eligible, and they're going to come up here fighting. And, that's what I see out of this team when we watch them.
Well, you're trying to stop a really accomplished running back. Yeah. And his name is Xavier Valladay. And he transferred from Wyoming. Yes. And he's also the second leading rusher in Wyoming Cowboy history. Yeah. He's from Chicago. Yep. You know him.
Yes. X is, I'm happy for his success. I really am, because I think the one thing about the portal, it does create opportunities for him to go prove it on the highest stage. And he went from the Mountain West to the Pac-12 and is one of the best backs in our league currently. And I think he is the active leader in rushing in the country, I believe.
That's correct.
So he's well accomplished. He's seen every situation. The cold, trust me, is not going to faze him.
No.
So he's been, there and obviously played a lot of games. And the one thing I've always talked about up here is that you can't replicate experience. So he's a passionate player, and I remember him from the days of scout team, to now doing this. So I'm happy for him.
He has 4,133 career rush yards. He's a 4,000-yard career rusher. This year, he has 14 touchdowns.
Yes.
He has 12 rushing and 2 receiving touchdowns.
I think the one thing that he's proven that'll help him at the next level is that his receiving game is really strong, which at Wyoming, when you're ground and pound, you don't get a chance to see that. So I think he's shown that he can do some next-level things, and, I think that's why he made the move.
25 grabs, 209 yards, 8 yards a catch. I mean, really, really good. Trenton Bourget is their current starting quarterback. He's taken over the job from Emory Jones. Jones came over from Florida. Started first 5 games, got a little banged up in the Washington game. Well, Bourget comes in and wins it.
Yeah, I think and vastly different players.
Yeah.
The Jones kid is a little bit more of a runner, play-action guy, where Bourget, he's going to come in and he's going to run an offense. And, he's not taking off running anywhere, but he's going to deal and work. And obviously number 2 was really strong Badger, just as far as a receiver to get the ball to. So then they got a lot of great pieces. Like I said, athletically, you look across the board and there's athletes everywhere. So I think they're playing within themselves, and like I said, they're continuing to play hard.
Yeah, Jalen Conyers, their tight end, is an Oklahoma transfer. It's interesting how certain teams recruit a little differently, or maybe this particular Arizona State team.
Yeah.
But if you look at transfers, QB Florida, running back Wyoming, tight ends Oklahoma, Missouri, wide receivers Utah Tech to JUCO, and then Utah. They're all over the transfer map.
This is the fun one for me. The right tackle last year played at Division II Northern State in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Unbelievable.
So in the old NSIC that I used to be in at Mankato, it fires me up, to be honest with you.
You saw Selby, South Dakota, and said, wait a minute.
Yeah, and we looked at it, and we just saw transfer from Northern State. Yeah. I'm like, I remember those days. I've been there. So
how hard is it to find him there for this role? He's their right tackle.
Like I said, it's different, and we actually had a chance to watch him, too, as it kind of went through. And offensive linemen in the portal, value shoots up really, really high. They're hard to find. And, so I think he's done a good job coming in, and I think they're, pretty athletic up front.
Emmett Bowl, different spelling, I think. Bowl.
Yeah.
I think there's an E on the back end.
I'm with you.
Yeah, just for a second. I had to ask. Defensively, the middle linebackers racking up tackles.
Yes,
98 tackles for Kyle Soley, fourth in the country.
Their core 6, including the 2 backers who have been playing for a long time, is really strong. And I think they're really athletic up front. And I think that's kind of their calling card on defense, is how physical and how aggressive that they play in that core 6. But it is a little bit like looking in the mirror. They're the 4-2-5. They're the match zone, cover 3, cover 1. They do a lot of the same things that we do, so it's going to be about who executes it, a little bit better and who plays hard and tough. And I know this unit is very talented, and they're playing extremely hard.
All right, let's go back in time a little bit. Do you recall, and I'm putting you on the spot here, we haven't talked about this, Super Bowl 35. That was the Ray Lewis Ravens defense.
Yep.
Do you remember where you were? Did you watch that? Do you recall?
What year?
I don't remember exactly.
No,
right around 2000.
I just know Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and I'm trying to think who the big D lineman was.
Siragusa, there was Sam Adams, I think, was
there was just a style and a physicality that they played with.
Yeah.
And, I was a big Ray Lewis fan just as far as the intangible pieces and, what he did effort-wise and how he played and how he prepared. And, those are some fun defenses to watch.
I bring it up because the head coach of that team is on the sideline. Brian Billick is an offensive analyst. Also, 15-year Cincinnati Bengal head coach Marvin Lewis is a special assistant, right? So you look across the sideline.
Yeah.
You got Brian Billick and Marvin Lewis. It was Herm Edwards, Brian Billick, and Marvin Lewis.
And last year they were everywhere. Pierce was the DC.
Antonio Pierce. Chris Claiborne's their linebackers coach.
Yeah, they've had a ton of guys as far as this experience level, and I know that's what they were selling there for a long time.
Sure.
But it is a different game. That's the one thing I've always said defensively. We would go clinic with NFL teams and be like, guys, what do you do to unbalance? When there's, all the receivers are on one side and it's illegal in the NFL. Oh, okay. Well, what do you guys do to tempo? You don't get that. Okay.
Right.
So it's amazing how vastly different. So we've had to shape a lot of those type of style schemes into the college game and vice versa.
Scheme variety in college from a fan
Correct.
perspective is so fun.
Correct.
It's so different.
Yep.
We've talked about this, but But yeah, absolutely. It has to play into it a little bit.
Yeah, and I think, the biggest thing is also the recruiting nature of it, right? The recruiting aspect is 365 days a year, is 24/7, and it never shuts off.
Right.
Versus the NFL, you have your season, it's long hours, we play ball, and then
we have a draft.
Yeah,
and a GM.
Yeah, GM and scouts, and they pick a lot of the players, and you coach them.
Yeah,
and they'll ask you a couple questions. So a lot of experience, and that's why I know this is going to be a well-coached team, well-prepared. They're ready to come up here. But the biggest difference, unless they're practicing in a freezer, you can't replicate what's going to hit them here on Saturday.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Round of applause for that.
I mean, it's real. It's real.
True.
We had to play in their 105, so they can play in our 35.
I remember it was hot.
It was hot.
It was hot on the field.
Yeah, I felt like I almost passed out a couple times.
It was hot up in the booth. But
yes.
It's a different beast.
Yeah.
Their head coach, though, I mentioned, you mentioned Billick, you mentioned Marvin Lewis, Kevin Mawai was there at one point, right? But their head coach right now is Sean Aguano, okay? Just fourth year in Tempe, right? He's the interim head coach. He was a high school coach.
Yeah.
He was an 18-year high school coach.
Chaparral?
Chandler. I think it was in Chandler, Arizona. Did really well there. Coached a ton of talent. I think he's a really connected recruiter in the Phoenix area. But he's the guy who got the interim job. Not Brian Billick. Not Marvin. Now, those guys weren't assistants. They probably weren't in line for it. But there are other, R.C. Slocum's sons on the staff, like Bobby Wade, a wide receiver in the NFL. But it's Aguano who gets the interim job.
Well, I know, and Coach Cooper on our staff and Coach Ward are both from Phoenix and Arizona, and very familiar with Coach, and just talk about how good of a person he is, and he's probably the right man for the right situation, and there's a lot of things that go into that, as we well know.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's about an energy and it's about belief and getting guys to rally around you, which I think he has done for this team.
They've played really well.
Because the Wild game was the school on the other side of the state. It was a wild back-and-forth score, and they were almost going to score, and then the ball got snapped over the head on third down. It ended up being like 4th and 50.
That's right.
And they didn't get the Hail Mary, so
that's right.
Obviously a very good team.
Yeah, they beat Washington 45-38. All right, we'll take a break, come back. We're going to do questions. Got them on social media. Maybe we'll get some write-ins here live at Zeppo's Packed House. We'll take a break, come back.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Want to earn some money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2022 to March 2023. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneSnow.com.
Back after this local timeout on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Show me the money!
That's right, Spokane. The $60,000 Snow Me the Money giveaway is coming to Northern Quest. Bob, tell them what they could win.
Well, Steve, there's 20 grand in cash, plus a chance to spank Old Man Winter with 2 new Polaris snowmobiles.
Don't make it weird, Bob. Maybe just tell them to play daily and visit northernquest.com for details about
Show Me the Money!
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown!
The fury.
Getting blitzed. Down he goes.
The speed.
To the 50. To the 40. He's gone.
The best in college football.
Toward the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You cannot hitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back in the end zone. 30, 20.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network. This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Runs into a massive. Crimson does not get the yard. It's a goal line stand.
Live from Zeppo's, here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
Back here live at Zeppo's talking ball. It is Arizona State week as Washington State 5-4 takes on Arizona State 3-6. Head to Chipman and Taylor's website for your chance to enter to win Coug football season tickets and Coug swag for next season. Chipman and Taylor Chevrolet on Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, your hometown Chevy dealer where everybody gets a great deal. All right, it's that time of the show, Coach, where we roll through some questions here.
Oh, here we go.
We got some social media.
Our favorite part of the show, man.
No doubt. There's no doubt about it. And there is doubt about it, but there's no doubt about it at the same time. Yeah, it's a double-edged. We'll talk about that.
It goes in a lot of directions.
Correct.
Yeah.
Twitter's a dicey beast. All right. Bring back our Sonics says we do love the participation from these folks, though. I want to be clear about that.
Yeah, keep them coming.
For real, in all seriousness, we do. We've been seeing student-athletes volunteering in area classrooms. That's fun. I think I saw a little bit of that. Would you be able to share any of their academic successes this far in the semester, or can you talk about how they've volunteered?
Well, I just think the biggest thing, since day one we talked about giving back to the community.
Yeah.
And this is a holistic approach to developing people, and I think giving back is one of the biggest things to just show your appreciation. So, I just think our guys, absolutely, our guys, and it isn't me making them do it. They want to. And, to go in and to read to the youth kids in our community, so we try to do it every Wednesday and get guys all across the elementary schools. And I think it's important for them, too, to see these kids look at them and just how much they understand that, hey, you are a mentor, right? You are a role model to these kids in our community, and they want to be just like you. Mm-hmm. And I think to ingrain that, but that's what makes Washington State special, right? And that's why we are Pullman and us, and family's a big part to me, and it's a big part to our community. So our guys giving back are it's tremendous, and just one of the biggest things I'm proud of, and we'll get these grades. We got another 6 weeks of classes, but from when we took over, I took over a group that was a 2.5 GPA. And then after that first semester, we were 3.06, and it's just something that all those things off the field, on the field, they really connect.
That's awesome. Also, secondary question: are you stealing any players from Kyle Smith's roster? Do you want to take DJ Rodman and make him a tight end?
I would do a lot with DJ. We could throw some fades to Bamba. Maybe
sure.
Mo. Imagine that guy in the red zone,
no doubt.
Bamba maybe edge rusher. I mean, there's some things that we could do with these guys.
Well, everybody's always talked about is LeBron going to retire to go to the Cleveland Browns?
Right.
Is he going to leave the Lakers at 40? Probably not.
Probably not.
But
it's amazing how many of our guys, more so maybe than their guys, love being hoopers.
Yeah.
We talked Derek Langford. Oh man, they love being out there and shooting hoops and playing ball and having fun.
That's fun. Do they go to what's the policy on that?
No, not now, but I think there's times when they sneak out and have a little fun.
Brink was telling me a funny story. He said this would never be allowed today, but it's like Alex Brink, Jerome Harrison, Jed Collins. Jed was a two-sport recruited athlete. He was USF, and he was going to play both for the USF Bulls. They're there in the rec, like in the season, playing ball.
They probably had an intramural team.
They were,
proud of getting an intramural
T-shirt. Yeah.
I just think it's one of those things that we look for multi-sports athletes.
Yeah.
And just that competitiveness of guys doing multiple things. I mean, I think it's been a key to success.
Jennifer Delzer asks, how do you keep everyone grinding after a big win?
You got to stay hungry. And I think we talked about that. One of the first things when we watched the tape on Monday is, we had a little taste of success. Does that make us full, or are we going to still approach the week with the same, plan and preparation and then execution and effort as we go? So we talk about all those things, and I've said it up here. You bring a new team to the game every week, and our team needs to be that hungry team, and there's a certain reality of how we need to play. And I think our guys are mature enough, and I think we got great leadership in those 6 captains to make sure we've wiped last week and we're attacking this week.
Mark B. brings up a trivia question. Now, I don't know this to be true, but if it is kind of interesting, and we'll try to verify it. But trivia time.
Okay.
Can you name – there are 3 FBS schools that have H-style goalposts. So there are 2 others. We're one of them, right? So as in there's no middle column. Right, for the goalpost. I hadn't thought about it, but yeah.
They have H-style?
Well, they're bent back. They're kind of curved back. And
I thought the H-style was the double post.
So that's the really old school version. But if you look at it, it's not. We don't have the NFL. If you look at, there's a Thursday game on. It's a little bit of a different style.
Okay.
Can you name the 2 others? I couldn't, and I don't. We'll have to verify it. But
FBS, I would have no idea.
All right, LSU and Florida State. Apparently, are the 2 others. So there you go. That's a fun one. Yeah, Mark B.
I think LSU, they won last week. Maybe they got theirs taken down. Maybe they got new ones.
That's a good point, actually.
Maybe they're sturdier that way.
They need H. They need to go to like a fork. They need 3 down. Yeah, that's a good point. So there you go. Who knew?
I did not know that.
We'll have to verify it. William Grantham, Bill's great. He may be here tonight, but sometimes he is. He's a great Coug. Coach, your post-game locker room dance was on point. Well done. Who knew? So there you go. You just wanted to give you a little compliment.
Well, people have said that to me. Coach, I didn't know you could do that. that.
Yeah.
And if you see me at a Dickert wedding,
you're going to tear it up.
I'm out there. Like, we are family.
You're a big one.
I'm all over it. We're celebrating. We're having fun. But other than that, Candace has probably seen my moves a couple times as I was courting her when we were dating.
Yeah, you got married, so it worked out pretty well.
It worked out.
She's shaking her head no. She's like, that's not why. That's not why.
I'm kind of, otherwise stay in your comfort of the, kind of two-step a little bit. But
seems pretty confident.
Yeah, and I tell our guys, to that point, I'm not to Kyle Smith level where he took his shirt off last year and danced.
He is unafraid. There's no doubt.
So he went all in.
Yeah.
But we celebrate wins, and it wasn't just that win. It was all wins because there's so much hard work that goes into it.
Yeah.
I tell our guys, ugly or great or perfect, when we win that game, we get in that locker room and we celebrate the heck out of it.
So what I'm hearing is the shirt's off the next time you win a game. That's what I heard. Yeah. With Kyle, maybe.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Matt wants to know, what was one of your memorable games you had as a player? Do you have a game that sticks out as a player?
Yeah, I think there was a time, UW Eau Claire, UW Stevens Point, and it came down to like the last possession, and we were down at the goal line, and I was a receiver, right? So we did a little slant and go, it was fourth down, stuck it, fade, caught the ball. Everyone has those moments where you remember it so vividly, but I wasn't very good.
Well,
but that one moment, I felt really good at that one moment.
You were all conference, actually.
We were a little bit.
Wait a minute. I was going to say, I'm going to push back on that.
I do appreciate that.
Well, you were 2006. You were all conference for the Pointers.
I appreciate that.
So there you go. Yeah,
I appreciate it. But it was a fun moment, and those are the times, like I tell our guys all the time, like, live in these moments because they go by so fast. Like I said, Jason's already 6. It's amazing, but soak them in because they create the experience. And those moments in that locker room, that's what you'll be talking about. They already forgot the score was 52-14.
Right.
They'll remember that celebration that time and the moment they went in there and played their tails off against Stanford.
All right, last question for you. How do teams prepare? This is from a gentleman on Twitter. How do teams prepare for playing in unfamiliar climates? Like, is there anything Arizona State could do? Is there anything you do for flipping it?
When it flipped, last year we were after every team meeting, everyone was drinking a bottle of water. Right? We talked about hydration and winning the hydration battle, and when you go into heat and guys, you can't replicate it. Now we practice in the bubble, so at least it was. I tried to turn the heat up to about 75. But in the cold, like you can't replicate your hands getting cold and your hands shrink and those hits feel a little harder when you hit that turf. When we practice Monday, it's it's gonna sting a little bit.
It's gonna be a little different.
Yeah. So you can't. That's one that's a little bit different.
All right. Final question.
Okay. Good. This must be a good one.
Well, this gentleman is Jesse Dickert.
Oh.
You may know him.
Boy.
I don't know. You may know him.
Yeah.
Where did you learn those locker room dance moves from last weekend?
Oh, my brother thinks he can outdance me. I don't know. Yeah. We could see walk a little bit. We'll have a challenge.
Well, we'll take a break. Come back. That's the next segment. That's great. Dance off here at Zeppo's. We're talking ball as we get set for Arizona State next.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Arizona State, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 85 critical scores of 90-plus points. Visit them at their Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Saturdays are made for football, and when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Cougar football lives here.
He is crushed by Henley, loss of one of the play. Turns the corner, touchdown. Right down the middle, Robert Farrell scores.
The Cougs return to Giesa Field on Saturday to welcome in the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Francisco Malingoa takes the lid off this place.
Kickoff is at 12:30.
100 yards.
It's all on your home for Cougar football. The Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Back here live at Zeppo's talking ball, and we've got the QB. We've got Cameron Ward here live at Zeppo's. Thanks so much for taking the time. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing it. All right, let's go back in time. We're going to talk about ball in Arizona State, and we'll do all that. West Columbia, Texas. I've never been to West Columbia, Texas. I don't know anybody who has been to West Columbia, Texas. Where is West Columbia, Texas? What's West Columbia like?
West Columbia is on the south side of Houston. Straight south. It's by the Gulf. It's just like Pullman, to be honest. Small town, heart of Texas. I would say is the first capital of Texas. So it's like just a straight small town. It's not like a 35,000 college town like Pullman. A lot of football there. Friday night lights. They love the Friday night lights. So it was an easy transition getting over here.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you. I guess is all right. When I hear it was just like Pullman. You get to Pullman and we're unintimidated by anything in that it's not that different, like something maybe you're used to. I don't know what they're farming in West Columbia, Texas. Maybe it's wheat, maybe it's not. But you go, oh, okay, I get it, right? Is that fair?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we got a lot of Cowboys there. They like the road, but saw the rodeos down there. We don't have the wheat fields like Pullman.
Sure.
We don't have the views like Pullman, but it's a nice town.
Do you ride?
I don't.
Do you road? No, okay.
No, sir.
That's all right. No, I don't either. Not that it matters. But all right, let's talk ball a little bit now.
Yes, sir.
From Incarnate Word with Coach Morris, right, to here in Pullman. What's that adjustment been like week to week? Right? How different has it been? What's the progression been like for you in terms of on the field and then in the film room and all the football elements to this?
It's been a great transition. Me already knowing the offense, not really having to learn much coming here, just adding different concepts, I would say. But just week to week, it's more of I would say the biggest thing I had to learn was being more on time. With my receivers, more timing than the FCS translate to the FBS. So, having better chemistry with them as the seasons progress, we get better each and every day meeting receivers. So that was the biggest thing, just more timing throws and just trying to have more window shots.
Coach a couple of weeks ago said pressure is a privilege. That's one of the things that he's mentioned. He said there are two guys that feel the most pressure on the team, Coach Dickert and Cameron Ward.
Yes, sir. He tells me that every
How's
day.
that? He tells you that every day. What's that like for you mentally, emotionally? I mean, what has that been like to deal with that?
It's great. I don't really believe in pressure because at the end of the day, it's football. I've been playing this out 6 years old, so the pressure, it just comes with the territory. So you take it and you run with it and you go every day.
So you're at Stanford, right? Last game, you turn around, you hand it off to Big Nakia, and he takes off for 65, and you go, all right, that might work this game, right? There might be some games where you go, I'm going to hand it off a little bit more than others, right? Is it mentally you must get a sense of what your calls, what your checks are going to be for Coach Morris, and then what you see pretty early on, just in terms of game flow, right? Like it might change in the game. If Nakia's going to do that, got to let him go, right?
Yes, sir. Nakia, having him back was a big help, I would say. Just the explosive plays that he had in the running game, and a lot of it goes, unsaid, unheard what he does in pass protection. That was one thing that we lacked was pass protection just from the running back standpoint, and that's something that Nakia brings, and he's going to have a big game Saturday.
Was it hard to integrate in the locker room more than it was on the field? Like I guess the sense I get is you come here, it's Coach Morris, you go, oh, it's my playbook. It's our playbook, right? I know this, but you got to learn. You got to meet Nakia. You got to meet Coach Dickert. You got to meet Billy Revere from, played at North Dakota, right? You got to meet all these new guys. What's that been like?
It's been great. The guys that acted like they know me my whole life, first day I stepped on campus. So, they welcome me with open arms. And, I'm eternally grateful for that, everything they've done for me on and off the field. So, we have a great relationship. Obviously Rob, great relationship with Nakia. He's really my best friend out here.
Is he?
Yes, sir.
That's fun.
Connor Garner, center, he's a great guy. I love hanging around him. So, they welcome me with open arms. And I'm just glad to have them in my life.
Yeah, the QB-center relationship, that's a unique situation, right? You're standing behind a guy over and over and over again, taking the snaps, figuring out. Because the QB in the center, I mean, the pass protection, that's where it starts, right? That's from the snap, literally. Like every play, the QB has the ball, the center has the ball.
Yes,
and they need to determine who's blocking where. You guys have to be on the same page for sure.
Yes, sir. KG does great making the checks. I watch blitz packages with Coach McGuire every Thursday before the game.
Interesting.
Yes, sir. So just being able to see what KG see, even if he makes a wrong check, I'll be able to know where I'm protected from and not protected from. So, KG's a smart football player, I'm just grateful to have him blocking for me.
It's going to be different not having Jarrett on that left side. Every Coug, this one included, was that one hurts because Jarrett, you just hate to see it for a kid. He's played so hard, so long. He's been great. And so it changes things. I'm not going to reveal who's going to be over there. I don't know that that's public yet, so we'll skip that. But for you, now you also have to change at least a little bit mentally to know, all right, this could be a little bit different this game, right?
Not really.
Okay.
I have faith in all my O-linemen,
sure.
from ones all the way to whether you're walk-on. So I know, whether they're out there or not, they're going to give it their all. Whoever's starting the left tackle, this Saturday, I'm going to have all my trust in them, and just like I have in them every game.
You and, speaking of trust, you mentioned Rob. You and Rob Farrell have a unique bond.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
you could tell game one, like, he knows exactly where he's going to be. I mean, step for step, you know exactly how he's going to run the route, and he's so fast. I mean, and he's a great story, too. He's not a big guy. I mean, that's an understatement, right?
Little 5-footer Rob. I've been playing with him for 2 years now, and just being able to learn, what he sees on the field, he's great at winning off leverage. He stems real good, just to get the DBs going a certain type of way. So, having Rob on the field is more of a security blanket for me. On special situations, special downs, I know he's going to be open in man coverage.
You take any hits this year where you go, that was different? Well, that's a big guy right there.
Yeah, it was one hit versus Wisconsin. Sack I took. It was actually Nakia. I still get on it to this day.
He missed the block.
He missed the pass protection.
Whoops.
So, that's a hit I won't forget for sure.
That was the big one, huh? That was a big win. That's a big game. I mean, that place was packed. Tell me if I'm wrong, because our vantage points are very, very different. I'm way high. It was not that loud. It was pretty quiet.
To me, it wasn't that loud. The false start we had going into the end zone, it got louder that third down there. But in my opinion, I think USC had the loudest stadium this year.
Yeah, and that's a credit to you guys because you kept Madison quiet. I mean, that's. I'm sure it can get really loud, like you said. It just you guys were kind of in control with it the whole time. All right, Arizona State. What do they show you? What have you seen defensively? You're trying to beat this Arizona State defense here. I know their middle linebacker has 98 tackles, which is it's a huge number at this point. What else do they show you?
Yeah, he's a great player. I feel like he's the key to their defense.
Yeah.
Obviously the things he's done this year. What they show, we seen it, a lot. They do a lot of one high. They're gonna play man cover 3 or 3 lock. They're not a real big blitz team. They don't show a lot of blitzes on film. So it's really about us, just executing each and every play. I would say, teams have a tendency, show this thing on film, but do the opposite thing, to us that next week. So we're just gonna see what they run in the first play, just get going from there.
I'll let you go after this. I'm at practice from time to time. I have a privilege of watching you guys work, and I saw Mateer throw a touchdown. And you were on the sideline, and you locked eyes, and you did a little shimmy, and then he did a little shimmy. And I was like, these guys are buddies. Like, you two guys are pretty tight in that QB room.
Yes, sir. John, he's a great player.
Yeah.
Him coming in, learning the offense as fast as he did, him also being a Texas boy.
Right, that's right.
Yes, sir. So even Emmett, the third string, he's a great player, too. Those guys support me, and I support them with everything. Just happy to see him, score his first touchdown.
Yeah, where's Little Elm in relation to West Columbia?
Little Elm is more north, more towards Dallas, I would say.
Okay.
So it's not.
You guys never crossed paths, or okay,
no,
all right.
And they were, I think they were 5 or 6'8", and I was a 4'8".
It's a different size.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Yes,
two Texas guys in the room there. Hey, thank you for doing this.
Yes, sir.
It's great to talk to you. Cameron Ward, live here at Zeppo's, the quarterback. We'll take a break. Come back. We get Coach Dickert on as we get set for Arizona State.
And little Billy and
Santa. I knew it. You are real. Shh. This is so cool. Can I see your sleigh?
No, I drive a Porsche now. Won it at Northern Quest's Upgrade Your Sleigh giveaway. Good timing, too. That sleigh's nearly 2,000 years old, almost out of warranty.
The Upgrade Your Sleigh Porsche giveaway at Northern Quest. Get 1 free entry daily. Play for even more. Details at northernquest.com.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
This is Drew Bledsoe, and you're listening to Cougar Football.
Bledsoe calls his play, has the ball, throws a home run ball from the end zone to Bobo! Touchdown! Washington State!
On the Washington State Sports Network.
Do you ever pay attention to overhead power lines? If you're like most people, you don't, but you should, especially when you're working up on a roof or carrying a ladder outdoors. Kids who climb trees and fly kites and adults with drones need to watch out for power lines too. And on the off chance that you find a downed power line, stay at least 10 feet away and quickly call 911 and Avista. Always pay attention to power lines. It's your best line of defense. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
Want to earn some money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2022 to March 2023. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneSnow.com.
Back here live at Zeppo's Talking Ball with Coach Dickert. We're getting set for Arizona State. Earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. Great to have Cameron Ward, the QB, on.
Oh, absolutely. And I just think you get to hear him, talk and speak. And the best part is we get a chance to meet every week.
Yeah.
We meet on Thursday mornings and have breakfast together and sometimes talk ball, sometimes talk life. But you just get there's a relationship piece to it, and just see all the hard work that he puts in and just appreciate what he does.
Well, he's done a great job.
Yep.
He's got himself an opportunity here against Arizona State in his first season to become bowl eligible.
Absolutely.
Right, in his first year as a starter. We've got a little a history nugget here.
Oh, yeah.
And now our engineer, Jerry Kylo, has been around Washington State and Pullman a long time, and he verified that our goalposts changed after an Apple Cup game. And Laura Womack on Twitter says, do you know why our goalposts are that way? They tore down the old ones after the 82 Apple Cup. The posts are about 10 feet deep and set in concrete, so they can't be torn out again.
Wow. That sounds like a challenge.
I think so.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that our director of athletics, Pat John, probably doesn't want us to shout out on the air as a challenge to the students.
I love the history of that.
That's great. Isn't that great? Pretty sure Dwayne Brailsford, who's a huge donor and is a great guy and super involved. I'm pretty sure he had something to do with that goalpost
in '82.
In '82,
that's right. I did. I've heard a story that it ended. down the street.
Yes,
and yes.
I believe he
tells it better than we do.
He
but
does.
I have heard it. It's fantastic.
I botched the specifics, but I think he is guilty. Yes. A guilty party, if not the guilty party.
I don't want to incriminate him, but I think he was involved. Let's just say he's involved.
Right. That's what he did.
Yeah.
That's true. It's a good point. All right. So we've got ourselves Arizona State, and we talked a little bit with Cam. You mentioned they don't blitz a ton and all this stuff. Their front four, there must be something that they're doing to free up their linebackers to make tackles. I mean, that has to be.
I think, as I've watched them the last 3 years, I mean, I just think a lot like us, when those guys are space eaters and they eat up blocks and they allow their linebackers to play downhill fast and aggressive. And part of that is, you're putting pressure on your back guys and your back five to play man, so these guys can just go and do whatever they see. And so I think the same thing. They're very physical against the run, and I think when they get you behind the chains, they can be really aggressive. So the two linebackers, I know, I both think they're both seniors and both extra-year guys. So they've seen a lot, and they're kind of the staple of their defense.
Yeah, Kyle Soley and then Merlin Robertson is the second. We'll take our final break, come back, put a bow on it. Last segment of the show next, live here at Zeppo's. Cougs and Sun Devils coming up.
Saturdays are made for football, and when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Back after this local timeout on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
This is Cougar basketball.
Gives it to Yaki, right wing. Wants that tie. Has the tie. On the run out, one-on-one. Euro step. Lays it in on the steal.
Tuned in all season long as Kyle Smith and the Cougs look to make more noise in the Pac-12.
Game pump fake, drives in, dunks it down. An exclamation point. Finds his buddy Rodman. He steps into a three and has his third.
It's only on your home for Cougar basketball. The Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Back at it live here at Zeppo's, talking ball with Coach Dickert as we get set for the Cougs against the Sun Devils. Washington State University would like to thank Crimson and Gray for their continued support of Coug Athletics. Head to www.bookstore.com to get the latest in Coug apparel. That's BKSTR.com.
And hopefully we get some of this new Wazoo gear out there.
That?
Yeah, this is what we displayed
Super
a little bit
fun.
last game. It was fun. We got great reception to it, and I thought it looked really sharp.
Super fun, super sharp. Everybody loved it. That was like a unanimous, and nationwide too.
That's right.
Everybody was saying, was that a you thing? Was that a Nike thing? Was that
definitely not a me thing.
You're not down there with the.
No, I think Pat kind of put in the idea of like, let's do something different. Let's embrace the Wazoo, and I just think it was that was fun for our guys too.
Oh, it's super fun. I don't want to forget, and I want to mention it live on the air. Apple Cup week show is Wednesday.
So
the Thursday show would be on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Nope.
So Saturday game, but a Wednesday show, which is an oddity. So next week
kind of sets the table. Wednesday night before the big Thanksgiving.
There you go. Well done.
I like
that. I like that.
Yes.
Well, all right. This is that part of the show.
Yeah. What do we got this week?
We go. I was thinking we'd do secondary.
Okay.
Right, and we could do safeties, but we can do them all. We can do corner across.
We're going DBs.
We go DBs.
Okay.
All right. And Shaw Smith-Wade was one of the highest-ranked defensive players in the country
I think
last week.
I don't get into all those things. I just know what I see. And Shaw, I think maybe if you look at it, is he the most improved player on our roster? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You use that term surprising. It doesn't surprise me. But I know he surprised a lot of people with his level of play and to be this consistent over time. And I think sometimes they see a smaller corner, let's take it up top on him. He's answered the bell every single time, it feels like.
Yeah.
And corner to be on that island, you're going to get beat sometimes. So he's answered the challenges, and he's just been absolutely phenomenal and just excited for his progress because, D-Lang, some maybe gets lost in Shaw's, having a great year. But I think D-Lang, since we started Pac-12 play, has been so consistent. And those two guys being cornerstones, and I've been there. When you're calling defense and you have full trust that your corners on the outside are going to go out there and make plays, man, it opens up that whole call sheet, and you don't need to protect anybody. Let's let it rip. So I think those two guys have given Coach Ward just an unbelievable comfort.
The USC game is the one that sticks out in my mind with Shaw and Derek Langford, everybody. I mean, what Caleb Williams did not do was amazing. I know that was a loss, and it's a game in some ways you want back, but there's some elements of that game they played great.
Yeah, and I think it's been, we talk about consistency and having one great game or making one play is one thing, but to be doing it over a course of a 12-game season in this Pac-12, which against great offenses is a credit to those guys and Coach Brown for getting them right, and just excited about where those guys can go.
The safety spot, you have one of the top freshmen in the country right now in Jaden Hicks, redshirt freshman, 6'3", 209. He's played like a senior. I mean, he's been fantastic, and he had the scoop and score, but that may be the least of what he's done this year. He's second on the team in tackles. He's been awesome.
And what I'm most proud of with Jaden is that it isn't just one position. We've had to bounce this redshirt freshman back and forth from free safety to strong safety, and I think it takes a lot of maturity, and it takes just a lot of mental to be able to do that. And but I think that also shows how unique of a player he is. to play down in the box in blitz and man tight ends and also go out there and cover speed receivers and be the high safety. I just think his progress has been incredible. And, Sam Lockett and Jordan Lee, putting a little experience around him. And I know Sam from Spokane.
Yes, he is.
So, just joined us from City College in San Francisco, but has just given us a real boost and a real mature player back there. I mean, he's been seasoned. We got him in the spring. He learned our system, and he's really kind of taken off from there. And Jordan Lee, we're building Jordan back. He'll be a game-time decision this week. We're excited to hopefully maybe get him back out there. Just when he's there, there's a calmness to the communication. And what I love to see as a coach is that these guys keep getting better. And the one piece that we kind of do with the DBs is Armani Marsh, right? So our nickel. And Armani, everyone knows, two-time team captain. He came here as a walk-on, the master of consistency. And I think these guys in those back five positions – I've just been really, really strong and excited about, responding to some early adversity in the year.
What's it like for Ray Brown and Jordan Malone? You've got two different coaches in that group, right? You have the corners, and then you've got the safeties and the nickels. Coach Malone is safeties and nickels.
Yeah.
Ray Brown is the corners. Those guys must work super
they
tight.
work hand in hand. And, I think the biggest thing is talk about two different positions. Corner is low mental and high technique. I mean, you are just working technique, and they don't need to know as much, but to what you do, you got to be great at those little things.
So help me out. They need to know less about what?
Scheme.
At the staff,
scheme.
it's just the
scheme.
Okay.
Yeah, just, hey, I can play this technique
just
and that technique versus safety. There's so much motion, adjustment, movements that I have to know and do. So those guys got to be very multiple and been very happy with our secondary. And the biggest thing when I came here, I just had everyone say, Coach, you got to fix the secondary. Right? They got to be better tacklers. They got to control the deep ball. And this group has done it, and that's why we had success on defense.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks
Absolutely.
For this time.
Go
Cougs. Thanks to everybody here.
See everybody out
Packed
there.
house. Great to see everybody. Jared Pranguber gets us on, the man behind the camera. Jerry Kylo gets us on the air. Always Luke Hallett's back in the studio. Everybody who submitted in Twitter questions. Great to see everybody. Packed house, truly. There was not an open seat. It's awesome. Great to see everybody. 10:30 airtime, 12:30 kick. Cougs, Sun Devils.
Love these early kicks. Go Cougs.